Hey guys, it's Stephen here, back with another video. The day after Manchester City's 3-0 victory over Preston North End in the Carabao Cup, I'm going to talk about 5 things that I personally learned from that game yesterday and talk about some things in a little bit more detail after the match report last night. But I want to say thank you as ever for OneFootball. You know the drill by now. OneFootball are a fantastic app. It's absolutely free. It's got loads of updates, loads of Manchester City news, loads of football news. You can follow all the stats, you can follow all the transfer rumours and absolutely loads more on this wonderful, incredible app, and it's free, so what's not to love about that? Go download it in the link in the description because you're an absolute fool if you haven't already, in the best possible way, in a nice way. It's a very good app, so go and download it now. What are you waiting for? But today we're going to talk about 5 things that I personally observed from the game, because I thought there was loads of little interesting stories that emerged from that. And I'm going to start initially that with a very bold, very dramatic claim, is that I don't think we need a new centre-back. Yep, I put that out there. I think it's actually true. I think we could probably get by with what we've got in general. I think once Laporte comes back and we've got Stones there and Otamendi, well, this does depend if Otamendi goes. I'm going to put that caveat there. But if Otamendi and all that lot stayed around, I think we're going to be all right. And this is based off the kids last night. Now, the kids are absolutely fantastic. Taylor Harwood-Bellis, just 17 years old. The Stockport lad, and Eric Garcia, the young Spaniard, only 18. And they were both absolutely excellent. Now, the big caveat, the big asterisk hanging over this screen right now is the fact that it was only Preston, and largely Preston's second string side. Yes, I absolutely agree. But what most stood out about them was the fact that they showed absolute balls of steel. They were ice cold. There was no nerves whatsoever. And they both showed why they're so highly rated in general. Eric Garcia captains Spain's youth teams constantly. We all know Guardiola loves him. Spain is seen as like basically their hottest prospect at centre back, and Taylor Harwood-Bellis is largely seen as the best English defender of his age group. So we're talking about the best young English defender of his age and the best young Spanish defender of his age. 2 absolute huge footballing nations there, and we've got them both together, and they both absolutely love playing together. What is more encouraging than that? The thing about what I loved about Eric Garcia is that he's just so composed. He's an absolute leader. You can see him barking orders at senior players alongside him. You can see him directing players around, and he uses intelligence and his incredible confidence on the ball to just glide through games. A real Rolls Royce of a player. And what I love about Taylor Harwood-Bellis is, as Guardiola said, and he meant this as the biggest compliment, he isn't a typical English defender, and by that he means he can pass a ball. Basically, it was a backhanded compliment really, I guess, against English players, but he can pass a ball. He's very elegant. He can break the lines as well. Maybe not quite to the same finesse as Eric Garcia, but he still can do it, and he still does it. And he's got a physicality about him. He's 6'2". He's a big lad. He's got to get bigger and stronger, and he has a presence that is already there despite 17. They're both absolutely excellent, and I think it'd be an absolute shame if we blocked their route into the first team. Honestly, get him as the 4th choice centre back together. Get him, even if Otamendi goes, get Fernandinho as the next centre back with Laporte and Stones. I don't think we need another centre back anytime soon. Maybe at some point we'll go for someone like Ruben Diaz. But I think those 2 should be used at some point. After that as well, I think Zinchenko may have a battle on his hands, really. The way I see it is that it's a personal take, and a lot of people won't agree with this. If Zinchenko, he may have to move into midfield to get some game time, because I think Angelino has shown more than enough to show what a useful asset he is going forward. And if Mendy's full, fit and firing, there's a big if there. If those 2 are full and fit, I think Zinchenko's down at 3rd choice, and that's not meant to be a disservice at all. I just think Zinchenko is a very good footballer. He's very neat at recycling possession, and he did us an absolute huge favour last season, and I will forever love him for that. But I think his game in general, as a left-back, is quite limited. And now this isn't me just presuming this. Guardiola actually said himself only a couple of weeks ago that the way Zinchenko plays doesn't allow us to play our usual game. We've had to adapt our style for him being left-back. When he said when Mendy comes back, it'll allow us to tackle him the way we want to down as a wing back. And I think Angelino's already shown that he's more than capable of getting forward. I agree that Angelino isn't great defensively. Mendy isn't that great either, but both are absolutely miles better going forward than Zinchenko is. Zinchenko is very good at recycling possession, and he's probably a little bit better defensively than Angelino, but I don't think he offers enough going forward and enough defensively to warrant not having Angelino's extra attacking ability. For me, it's those 2, because they let us play our usual game. I would much rather see that as Zinchenko be as a kind of like midfielder, because I think he looks great there for Ukraine. I want Zinchenko around the squad 100%, because you never know with Mendy and his fitness, and I expect we'll see Zinchenko at left back again. But I think if Angelino keeps up his form, he he looks in really good form, and if Mendy gets back to fitness, then I think it should be those two, because they let us bomb forward, and especially given the fact that we haven't got Leroy Sané out there to provide width. Those two will actually provide width on the left. So for me, that's what I can see, and I think Zinchenko has got a bit of a battle in his hands to get back in at left back. The third point today is Gabriel Jesus. He's a different man. He's a different man. He's changed. Sometimes you can read into little things about a body language, and it seems like the most smallest thing in the world can make a difference to a player's confidence. You've only got to look there, the fact that he's changed his celebration. Now, we all know the whole Hello May kind of celebration, which was a famous ode to his mother, because he called his mother after games because she's the biggest influence in his career and all that kind of stuff. He's stopped doing that now. And we've always known that he's basically been very much a family boy. And if you follow his Instagram, you might have noticed a very pretty lady popping up on his Instagram. He's got himself a girlfriend, basically, and I think he's a very happy boy. I think he genuinely is. He did like a love heart celebration when he scored last night. I wonder if that's a message to his girlfriend. Either way, he looks totally and utterly relaxed on the pitch. Like, he's got an extra spring in his steps. He looks faster, he looks more creative, he looks more Brazilian. One little flick he did where he scooped it over the defender's head, it's just absolute magic. He looks like genuinely a better player. Obviously, this as well is coming off the back of his Copa America success, where he had an incredible tournament there, and he was obviously delighted to win that. So I think in general, he's a happy man. He's a very happy man. And I genuinely believe that having someone around him, because he's always been very emotional, very family-led, having someone close to him, like his girlfriend, has helped him an absolute huge lot. Because I think he's more comfortable having someone close to him. He needs that intimacy, and he needs that support emotionally. And I think with his family up there, a girlfriend is the next best thing. And I think we're seeing his ability. He's more calm in his appearances. He doesn't look as rushed in general. His finishing can get better, I agree. But his runs and all that kind of stuff, and his overall involvement, I think he could be the man. He looks like a different beast this season. I think he's going to get better and better and better. And it looks like we could, hopefully, have a long-term Aguero replacement. Fingers crossed. Also, once again, we're taking this competition seriously. This is the fourth thing. Guardiola isn't going to let up on these competitions. He is going to play strong teams. He is going to try and win this trophy, and I love that. I always think we should try and win trophies. I always think we should try and play our strongest teams within reason. You know, do play the youth as well, but I always think we should take them seriously, because winning breeds winning. Success breeds success. It's a very good habit, and it's the kind of thing that teams fear you, because they know that you're not going to let up and all that kind of stuff. And I just love winning. I love watching our teams win. I love seeing the young players around the senior players and learning how to be involved in that team. There's nothing worse than when you see some young players come in and they're just thrown into with the players who haven't played yet, you know, because even though our players are good, it just means they're usually like, oh, well, we're playing with 8 other academy lads and 2 guys who haven't played any first team football so far this season. How can we improve it? You want to see how they play alongside the first team players, and we got to see how Harwood-Bellis and Garcia and co played alongside Bernardo and David Silva and Gabriel Jesus and Raheem Sterling. We got to see how they fitted into a team shape, and they came out with flying colours. And Guardiola, he's taking it seriously once again. It's obviously terrifying for the rest of the competition, but I love it. And I suspect we'll see very similar in the FA Cup, because I want us to win these trophies. I want us to keep winning, and I want that total trophy tally by the end of Guardiola's reign to be really, really high. Fingers crossed it will be. And finally, the thing I took from this is that the kids are all right. They're good, you know. They are good. There was a nice healthy spattering of youth players. There was some players that would like to see involved, but they did play in the Checker J Trophy. It's got a new name now, actually. They played last night as they beat Bradford 2-1, I think. Tommy Doyle scored and Morgan Rogers scored. Jaden Braff played in that game as well. I know a lot of us did want to see Jaden Braff get a game, but I didn't think he would be involved, unfortunately. And he wasn't. But it is a tournament I generally do think helps players in their development. You've only got to look at how comfortable Eric Garcia and Taylor Harwood-Bellis are around this team, and Bernardo as well. It's because they've been involved in that tournament. I think they look used to playing against men, which that tournament does give them that experience. So even though I'd like some more academy players involved, at least they were playing in a game that's actually good for their development. For the ones that did play, we did see a few, you know. We saw obviously the 2 young centre-backs we just spoke about at the start of the video. They were absolutely excellent. We also got to see Phil Foden. Technically is an academy lad. I thought Phil had a pretty decent game. I was a little bit underwhelmed by his performance at the time, but I watched back a collection of his clips today and thought, do you know what? He did a lot more than I actually realised. I think I was probably paying too much attention to the 2 centre-backs. I was on like player camp for those 2 guys, not really appreciating all the stuff Phil did actually did on the ball. So fair play to him, man. You also got to see Bernardo again as well. Once again, it was great to see him get on and get some game time. He looks like a real live wire. Some of the passes were terrible and some were absolutely excellent, which is what you'd expect from a raw winger of his age. Loads of skill, loads of intelligence, and a real prospect. And it's obvious to me that Guardiola does like him, because he's involved in now last season and this season and in pre-season. He obviously rates him a lot. It was a shame that Alpha Dionko didn't get on, but I'm happy we got to see 2 start. Well, Foden if you count his academy. We got to see another off the bench and another on the bench. it was a good night for the academy, and it shows that these players are very talented and their level of the game does usually go up when they're around the first team. Add to that maybe Jaden Braff and Tommy Doyle in the future as well, and we could have a very good bunch of young players that we should use because they're absolutely excellent, and nothing means more than watching an academy lad come through. Fingers crossed we see more Taylor Harwood-Bellis and Eric Garcia in the coming weeks. I suspect you will. I suspect that they've earned it, and I think Guardiola was very impressed with them, and maybe we'll see a little bit with Bernardo with a little bit of luck. It's going to be hard for him given the options in front of him, but you never know. Anyway, that is just my 5 takes from the game. There's loads more talking points, no doubt. Let me know what you thought of the game in the comments below. Go and check out my match reaction video from last night if you want to. For now though, go and download OneFootball, subscribe, like, comment, and I'll see you very, very soon.